Hi, my name is Bob Drawn. This is Kevin. We are talking about how to appropriately build a proper fire and to make it last. What you need to use to keep it lasting, and what equipment you need. Why don't you start on the tinder?
First, you need tinder. Tinder's like paper, little sticks, newspaper, which is paper, but you need like small burnable things like lint and lots of flammable things like.
Alright, so yeah, this is a great example of tinder. Paper burns real easily, as I'm sure you said, so why don't we show you how to put the tinder in. Put that in the ball. So, you want to make them into a ball, because if you just lay it down, they'll burn, but they won't burn well. And while Kevin's doing this, I'm going to talk about kindling. Kindling is like bigger sticks, like not like sticks that you'd get from a tree. Yeah. So you not like logs, but like have like smaller pieces, like parts that fall off of a log when you're cutting it. So I'm gonna go get these. So this is what kindling looks like. See, this is just sticks that I got off the ground. And these are pieces of wood that I got from chopping off of a log with my tomahawk. So put some of this down. You want to spread it out, make sure it's nice and even.
Bigger stuff is logs, which are fuel. They help the fire burn and stay alive after you get the fire started. And they are bigger stuff like tree-sized logs, but cut up, and they're bigger than the stuff you put in.
So it's all a chain reaction. You start the tinder, which starts the kindling, which then starts the fuel, which is how you keep a fire burning. And you want to make sure that you give the fire oxygen, because if you don't give it oxygen, it won't burn, it'll die out. So you need to care for the fire and make sure it has enough of each thing to burn. So, as you can see here, I got these strange egg cartons filled with wood, but they also have wax. These things are great fire starters. They burn for like 11 minutes, no joke. I tested this out. So they are a great way to make sure that everything burns really well.
The dry stuff is best.
So there are a couple of different styles of fires that you can make. This kind is a log cabin where you just keep on making a square out of it. Another kind would be a lean-to, where you put everything in a pile, leaning up against a wall or something like that. And the last most commonly used kind is a PP. That one's a bit harder because you have to make sure you get them to stay. But that one works real well too. So, Kevin goes and gets the matches to light the fire. And talk about the equipment you use to prepare the fire. Obviously, we went over all of this. You need matches or something to light a fire with. But besides that, you also need something to chop the wood with, this nice axe here, and something to cut the make shavings with, like this knife. So, right on that one. As you can see, I've got my little size match here. I like to get this fire started well. A little bit windy out here, so this could be interesting. You want to light it in a couple of different places, like I'm doing here, because it's
Helps burn.
yeah, just in case one gets put out, there'll be others to burn it. So, obviously we're not just going to show you this fire burning for 11 minutes. That would not be a very good video for you guys, but this is what a fire should look like as it's starting. And I hope you guys learned a couple of useful tips on our fire. Things that you really need to remember, once again, giving it oxygen. You gotta make sure it gets enough oxygen. What's really nice about this fire set is that it has two holes on the side, so a hole on top. You give it lots of oxygen, so you really don't need to be like blowing on it. But you also need to make sure that it has, at least if you're making a small fire, it needs to have 2 bags of tinder, 1 to 2 bags of kindling, and then your desired amount of logs, which is normally like 3. That's a good sized fire. So if you're ever lost or stranded, this is a great way to make a fire. Log cabin would be my suggestion. That's a great way to get a fire started and going because it burns all the logs. Now, if a fire is wet, it won't burn as easily, and you're going to need to care for it a lot more.
It still burns.
It will still burn, yeah, like Kevin said. In my backyard, I have a birch tree. A birch burns if it's wet, if it's dry, super well. So there's a birch tree over there. So that stuff, it's got paper like bark, which also is a great tinder. So it's not only is it fuel, but it's also tinder and kindling. So it's a great tree. So when you're cutting the wood, you want to be careful.
Not hurt yourself.
Yeah.
Don't hurt yourself.
Yeah, you don't want to. You want to cut like this, away from yourself. Never cut towards yourself with a knife. And when you're chopping wood, you want to make sure that your legs are wide apart, like you're on a horse. When you chop, because if you're like this, you could chop your leg off. It's pretty dangerous. So, yeah. So this is our video on how to make a fire. I really do hope you guys learned something useful. I hope you will look at this video and you'll remember this if you're ever lost or just camping. I hope you remember our tips. Thank you. Once again, I'm Bob Drawn.
I'm Kevin.
Bye.